Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and jadedness beyond your years, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Black and White World from Get Happy, released in 1980. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. It seems rational to believe that inspiration can come from anywhere, at any time. Sure, it happens to all of us, I'd imagine. The execution of that inspiration, however, in my opinion, is what sets apart the dreamer from the poet. In this case, the modern-day master poet. What seems to have begun as an inky, newspaper-induced daydream has flourished into a fully manufactured future that is then able to look back upon its imagined past with what sounds like legitimate nostalgia. All this in under 2 minutes. I was looking at the black and white world. It seemed so exciting. If you'd only put me back to back with that girl, when the night's inviting, with just a little lighting, there'll never be days like that again, when I was just a boy and men were men. The structured yet nearly chaotic A-B, A-B, A-B-B construction of this first verse is littered with pleasing rhymes, alliteration, and revelations. Looking, exciting, inviting, and lighting wind around black, back and boy in a lilting, happy-sounding way, sure, just before it pulls the rug out from under what promised to be a bit of playful romance. With one swipe, there'll never be days like that again. We are out of sticky love and into something pleasingly cynical. We could linger over the meaning of when men were men long enough to romanticize it, condemn it, and then start the process over again with a self-loathing pang of remembrance. You never go from moment to moment. You're the living double of a single fiction. You're very colorful with your compliments as you feel the fingers' friction. It's a freeze frame till it's real life. You don't want to look because you've seen the film and you've read the book. The repeated words in this verse, moment to moment, mirror the back-to-back of the first verse well, even if the exact meaning remains less than obvious. Turning pages, escaping into frozen bits of time. I'm sure we all have those small moments etched in our memory of why Mr. Costello's words mean so much to us. The notion that it's possible to reject what is real for the imagined, 'cause you've seen the film and you've read the book, became less of a pithy turn of phrase and more sage advice that I still adhere to today. I was looking at the black and white world, trying to name some pin-up. In those days, she was just a beautiful girl. Now she's framed and hung up. I thought she was young up until I saw her last night in close detail. They all fade away when you're so pale. The multiple meanings of framed and hung up have always tickled me, especially as they're uttered with such a sneer. The "if you'd only put me back to back with that girl" in the third line of the first verse has now been revised to "in those days she was just a beautiful girl." This is the imagined future of a slightly cruel nostalgia I mentioned. Things are not always what they appear to be upon closer inspection, it's true. But how did a young songwriter have the vision and vocabulary to express it so succinctly? Perhaps there are clues we can ponder in the future. Things were so much easier when I was cruel. It's more than just a physical attraction. It starts with a face and ends up a fixation. But you're never going to feel a fraction of the way it used to work in your imagination when you were looking at the black and white world. And then, as with any good piece of journalism, this entire narrative is restated and deftly summoned up here in this final verse. The fleeting moment at the end of an initial revelry. Again, we hear the foresight and the hindsight coming from this richly imagined time and place. There's always a lovely dissonance lurking around an Elvis Costello piece. We've come to expect nothing less in the 40 or so years since this piece was penned, of course. But it still astounds me how easily I accept with a toe tap and a lilt in my voice as I sing along to the devastating news that you're never going to feel a fraction of the way it used to work in your imagination.
Dig it.
Again, this has been a slow drag with Black and White World from 1980's Get Happy. Turning what could be considered a daydream into a lasting piece of art is the goal of any artist, I'd imagine. That's part of the joy of dancing a slow drag with these pieces, recognizing the brilliance in the small details, taking note of the lasting imprint Mr. Costello's work has made, the rhyming structure, the alliteration, the repetition, the sheer artistry of words and images, all in under 2 minutes. Other precious gems from Get Happy you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episode 15, A Villain in a Million. It's a slow drag with Riot Act. Episode 28, The Face of Your Affection. It's a slow drag with Men Called Uncle. Episode 46, Lust. That's a slow drag with a delightful Possession. And episode 85, Fumbling with the Catches. That's a slow drag with Motel Matches. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon with another slow drag, so please follow the show so you won't miss an episode. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky Social. As a reminder, as I continue writing my second book, I've placed the audio version of my first novel, The Most Terrible Time in My Life Ends Thursday, on YouTube. Please follow the link provided if you'd like to listen for free. I know you'll love it. And as always, thank you for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with Remedy.